Hello, my name is Eddie Tofpik. I'm Head of Technical Analysis and Senior Markets Analyst at ADM Investor Services International Limited. As is usual at this time of year, I stop looking at my daily and weekly charts and instead concentrate on the longer term view using my monthly, even yearly charts. If you'd like to discuss any of these, I'd only be too happy to hear from you. However, before we start, I just wanted to let you know that no AI, that is artificial intelligence, was ever used in the composition, production, or recognition of any of the patterns, levels, analysis, or any related items on these, my charts. This was all authentic intelligence, all my own original work, as I think you deserve to have that. So with that, let me now introduce today's longer term chart.
Today I'll be looking long term at Paris wheat. The two immediate patterns had been the two very tall, very lopsided head and shoulders patterns. Even as I say this, I'm shuddering inwardly at these patterns. They just look so ugly. The first, with a neckline well off the top of my monthly chart now, is the July 21 to November 22 head and shoulders top. This is an almost impossibly steep neckline for this head and shoulders pattern, but it did give the following: a primary target at 241 and a harder to reach target X further down at 163.5. The primary target has already been reached in early 2024, and prices did start approaching the secondary harder to reach target back in early 2024 and again in late 2025. Now I'll discuss these lower moves shortly. The second head and shoulders pattern was based on the July 21 to March 24 action and has a bright red neckline that this time, while steep, is not as steep as the first pattern, and this time is pointing downwards and is currently at 147 even. This time the market has not triggered the move lower from this head and shoulders top, as it only managed a single monthly close below the neckline back in February 2024, and we saw a very strong reactionary move, combined key reversal up and bullish engulfing pattern in the following March 2024 action. It's also a little too early to call this a possible head and shoulders continuation pattern, but the opportunity for one still does exist. What is interesting about the action since the formation of both the head and shoulders patterns is the longer term dark blue 2010 to date uptrend, which is currently at 194.5, which has been pierced on the downside, though as yet we have not seen any stabilization below it. Near to this is the only slightly shallower bright green 2005 to date uptrend, which is currently at 175 even, which has not been tested since 2010, and I am unsure about it. Okay, so last year I put forward two ideas to consider for 2025. The first was, and I quote, the action over 2023 and 2024. This does have elements of a possible diamond pattern, but so far is poorly defined, other than it looks like one may be building up. Please bear this in mind as 2025 develops. End of quote. Well, this year I'm less inclined to consider this idea, but instead have now started to wonder if the whole action from the high in early 2022, or more likely from late 2022, might just be a possible developing bearish halfway hesitation. Now, this is something to consider for 2026, as if the latter becomes true, then we could be looking at potential down in the 115 even zone, or in other words, a potential visit to the lows of late 2008 plus 2009 and 2010. Nothing's verified, but it does deserve consideration. The second idea I put forward thus, and I quote, I've drawn an October 22 to May 24 bearish shift pitchfork, which I've chosen not to highlight because I only feel I should draw it as a requirement and I do not have any real confidence in it, but also because this year, 2025, we are pushing up and out of it over the upper time, which is currently at 181 3/4. And that's the end of the quote. We pushed up and out of the unhighlighted upper time, but we did not close over it until October, and then only just. It was only in December that we finally closed over it properly. In the meantime, for the whole of 2025, the upper time had been pretty good at showing the bearish angle of attack of this market, which frankly is what you really expect from a pitchfork pattern. now that we have started to move up and out of the pitchfork, has gotten me wondering if, with the support from the low in 2024 and the dark blue 2010 today uptrend, whether we might be forming something else here. I'm not sure, but I note how November's monthly key reversal down did not force the market lower, something such a pattern should have at least tried doing. Is, after all, the action since 2023 to date, is it possibly starting to think about forming a double bottom of some sort? Now, I'll leave that you with those thoughts.
Thank you for watching and listening. This annual broadcast gives the essential market patterns and consequences. Please be aware of the risk disclaimer posted both at the front and the back of this broadcast. Copyright is Eddie Tofpik and ADM Investor Services International Limited. And here comes the final bit.